So, you've added a bibliography. Now it is time to add some note cards to your project. So, once you've added the sources to your bibliography, that's step one. Add the sources to your bibliography. The next step is to go to your notebook and add some notes. Now, it is very important that you check to make sure that you are actually in your project. If you're not in your project, then I will not see the notes that you are adding and you will not get any credit for them. So check up here in this blue bar to make sure that it says whatever your project is. So for example, Hindu mantras, Buddhist mantras rather, or whatever your project is, you need to be in your project or I will not see the work that you're doing. So once you've checked to make sure that you are working in your project, then you can create a new note simply by clicking on the New Note button. When you click on that green button, it brings up this dialog. Now, what do you put in each of these fields? You will be required to enter in a title, associate it with a source, and put either evidence from the text, or a paraphrase, or a comment, and then finally an identifier. So basically you have to fill in all three or all of these fields. Now, what sort of title could you put in? Let's say your project is on jihad, which is an Islamic concept, jihad. And so your title might simply be, for example, let's say you're just defining jihad. You could put down definition of jihad. Then you would look at whatever source you're using at that moment. So let's say it was the BBC Religions website and you were on this page about jihad. Okay, so you would go here and associate it with that particular source, Islam at a glance, BBC News, and associate it with that source. Then you'd have to decide what sort of information you're going to get from that source, direct quote, or a paraphrase, or a comment. I'm going to get a direct quote since I'm just defining jihad. And this website defines jihad in three different ways. Muslims use the word jihad to describe three different kinds of struggle. A believer's internal struggle, etc., etc., etc. So I'll copy that and paste it into the dialog here. Then that's it for this note card. Next, all I would put down is some sort of identifier. That simply allows me, your teacher, to find out where you've gotten the information. In this case, I'm going to use as an identifier the URL of the specific web page. See how it says specific URL here. So the source is a general URL, and this gives you the specific URL here. And then you click Save Note. And here's the note card that you just created. And you can drag it and put it anywhere that you'd like in this field and organize the notes that way. Now I will cover how to organize notes more in another tutorial. One last reminder, always remember to make sure that you are working in your project. Ask yourself, am I working in my project? Because if you are not working in your project, then all of this work that you are doing will be for naught. I will not see any of it because I am only linked with your project. You have to make sure that you are working in your project before you create any sort of notes.